Hello, welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. I am your host, Dewey Bear, and join me today is, of course, as always, the lovely, the radiant Rudy Pie.
Hey, nice to be back.
And joining us from her secret spy satellite is MerlynTemple.
Hi, everybody. I am glad to be back. It's the second time
so
I've
glad.
been here.
Yeah, it's been. I think it was the middle of last year. Basically, was the last time I had you, and that was so long.
Yeah, it was either that or 2019. I think it was.
2019.
Yeah,
was it 2019?
Yeah.
Oh my word!
Yeah, it was
a long time ago.
A long time.
It's been a long time, but I'm so glad to have you back because today is a really special topic, and it's we're looking at what's to look forward to in 2021. And there in the indie gaming space, there's a lot. no matter what outside stuff's going on in the indie game space, 2021 is looking really promising. And but it's looking promising in a different way for each of us. And that's why I'm so excited to have you both here, because I'm really curious what you guys are looking out for and are excited for. And so but before that, each of us, we're gamers. We stream when we can, and we play games that are already out. And I'm really curious. So, what have y'all played today or this week?
Merlyn go first.
Okay.
This week, I have been playing. So I just got a VR headset about a week ago. So I've been playing a lot of Beat Saber. I am really loving Beat Saber, and I'm trying to get good at it. So I beat my first expert level last night.
Oh, great!
And then I also play Among Us pretty frequently. We play. I have a group together that we play once a week now. So I play that pretty frequently, and I just got done actually playing some Overcooked 2 with a group. That was a lot of fun. I haven't played that in forever, and I love Overcooked 2, but I can never seem to find people to play it with. So,
I imagine that you'd be quite good at Beat Saber because you do have like one of those dance pad things, don't you? Like a proper one.
DDR, yeah.
Yeah.
Used to play a lot of Stepmania, but I haven't done that very much lately. So, but those are, I don't think I've really played anything else that I can think of this week.
I really do want to get a proper VR setup eventually, mostly for the more physical stuff like this, which is why it's gonna be a while before I get a VR setup. Because a VR setup sitting down, I could do that now, but it's for all these sort of more kinetic, interactive games that I'm really interested to play more. Because Beat Saber looks so fun, and also
it's a lot of fun.
Real workout.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, I didn't expect it to be as much of a workout as it actually is, because I thought it was just a lot of arm movement, but it is a whole lot of whole body. Like, you really have to move to dodging the walls. You have to move to reach some of the blocks because they're farther away than you can by just extending. So there's a lot of movement there that you wouldn't anticipate.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So Rhodey, what about you? What was your week?
I continue to try to play through Adventures of Fat Man, and I just kept getting stuck. But I'm determined to reach the end of that. I have only just now been able to knock out the policeman to get to the scene of the crime, and I thought there was going to be another panel, another scene after that, but no, it is just you looking through the rubble. So that was kind of like a disappointment, really. But yeah, it was like, it has you doing really arbitrary tasks that don't seem to link together, but they do. More so than other point and click games that I've played. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's been interesting. I didn't play. I did play a demo of something that I will talk about later, but that's about it.
All right. Well, as for me, I guess it's kind of three hat trick because I've also mostly just played one. Besides like some co-op that I did play. If you've ever played Code Names, this is
I
not a
love
Steam game. This is a
Codenames.
browser game that, or at least how I've played
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so there's just like a little browser app, and you just have to try to get people to guess the right words. Let me see. Is it even on? Is a version of it even on? No, it's not even on Steam. But so I've been doing that, which is a great party game. Look it up. It's so fun.
I have the board game version.
Yeah. And it would actually be extra fun, like actually physically in person
Yeah.
when that becomes
There's a
possible.
lot of variations. There's a lot of variations in it, in the actual board game version. I think we have like 4 or 5 different versions of it.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Besides
There's one with just pictures.
just pictures. Oh,
Just
my
pictures.
word. That's like a double level.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, besides that, I did play Fail Seal. Especially, I've been playing Fail Seal with the DLC, the Beast and the missions and monsters DLC. Which basically, what's cool about this game? It's a tactics RPG, but all the enemies have access to the same skills that the players do, except the monsters, which were their own set of classes until this DLC, where you can now actually have monsters who are on your team. And it's just that kind of neat thing where the more you know how to play the game, the more you know what the enemies can do. There's not really this sort of like surprise where you come up into a match and it's just like, oh, they just got completely BS powers. No, you know what kind of powers they have. And so you always have to be thinking like, you look at all the enemies and it's like, oh no, they've got a peddler, so that means there's going to be invisible traps everywhere. So anyhow, been having a blast. It's a very, very long game, and I still haven't finished it. I'm like 40 hours in.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's
But you don't
difficult.
feel it's overstayed its welcome though.
No, it really has not, because I've actually restarted this game 2 different times. And both times I kind of approach it with a different strategy in mind. And each time it feels like a fresh game, like because I'm using a different team. But yeah, I am this time I'm going to finish the story. I really want to finish the story and see where it happens. But we shall see. So that's what we played. But this episode is particularly special because we're looking forward. It's January of 2021. We're looking forward into the future of what 2021 has to hold. So we have a special section this week for our most anticipated games. And who wants to start off with their number 5?
Oh, like the guest. I'll let the
Okay,
guest start.
Merlyn, what is your number 5 anticipated game this year?
I didn't even think to rank them. Let me
no.
let me do that real quickly right now. Yeah, number 5 I would say is probably The Medium, which is actually coming up. It's coming out shortly. I think it's a week and a half from now. It is. It's basically a horror, but like set like it's part. I guess the description is part ghost hunt, part horror film, and part horror game. So you kind of like go back and forth between like the land of the living and the land of the dead, sort of like it's that you play this medium. I'm from what I can see, it's kind of like you can go back and forth and just kind of solve the mystery type of what's going on through a medium, like talking to the afterlife. So it looks interesting. I just found out about it yesterday while I was talking to a friend who said he's really looking forward to that game, and it looks intriguing. I don't know a lot about it yet, but it's coming out soon.
So though it's going to have a lot of horror elements, I guess it does seem to be more focused on kind of the investigation aspect. There's going to be obvious, like there's probably going to be junk scares, I assume, but it's not like it's not like you're going to be at the edge of your seat, and it's not like amnesia. It's not like it's not going to be that kind of horror game.
It's more psychological horror. Yeah.
Oh, that's really
which
cool.
Which is more my wheelhouse as far as horror games go. I don't really like the just jump scare horror games as much. I will play them occasionally, but it's more of a begrudgingly, like, I guess I'll play that since everybody likes to see me play those games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really enjoy them, so to speak, but it's fun to do it as a community.
I did see the trailer. I've seen a couple trailers of this game, and I do like just the style. I like the character's design. I like just the whole, like, you know, when she flips between worlds, her hair changes color, just to give you a hint of what world she's in.
Yeah.
That's just that. It's just very good style. So looking forward to that. Rhodey, what is your number 5?
So, my number 5, a little indie game called Unpacking, which is what I really should do around my place. So yeah, it's set in the late 90s, and you're going through your rooms and just nicely unpacking everything. And I just love the style of the pixel art, and it's just something that's very relaxing kind of game, which is definitely sort of
oh, that looks cute.
Yeah,
I computer.
I just love games like that, you know, like very relaxing, but also it has that thing of sort of like organization in which I am absolutely useless at. So it's just like has that really good satisfaction thing going on for me. It's like, wow, I wish my place looked like this. Oh dear.
Oh, I could get into this. I don't even like to move, but I like to organize.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, no one likes to move, but when you get everything just how you want it, everything in its right place, it's like
that's that's like almost my ASMR type content, right? Just getting things in the right spots.
Exactly. So yeah, this is like was definitely going to be on my top 5, definitely. But it doesn't say when exactly in 2021 it's coming out, but it's, you know, let's fingers crossed it does.
Witchbeam. Well, they also developed a Assault Android Cactus Plus, which is another game I haven't heard of, but it's very different. Wow, that is so cool. I feel like this scratches the same sort of itch in the brain that other game where you kind of repair things.
Oh yeah, I want to say Assemble with Care.
Yes, Assemble with Care. I feel like this kind of itches just kind of that same part of the brain where it's like, oh, that's how it should be. Everything fits in place.
I think, you know, for me that's like a theme. Really, it's just I just want to be like, you know, relax and just tinker with things. That's what I need is a shed. Basically, I need a little garden with a shed at the bottom, so I can just tinker away at stuff. But no, I don't have that.
I like the description where it's talking about part item Tetris and part home decoration.
Yeah,
trying to figure out where things fit is part of it. Like that's intriguing. So almost a puzzle as well as the whole relaxation part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it looks like they have quite a few sets too. It's not just like let me see. They have at least 5 here. They probably aren't going to say how many they're playing on because it's not even out yet. But yeah, that is cool.
It does say learning clues about the life you're unpacking. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so. My number 5 is a game called Sea of Stars. So this one is by the developers of The Messenger, but unlike The Messenger, which is a 2D platformer this way, this is a 2D isometric pixel art game that's kind of in the vein of Trials of Mana, and you basically play as 2 characters, one who's the summer equinox, and the other one is the winter, not the equinox, solstice.
Sorry, teacher, sorry. It says it's coming out in 2022.
2022?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh my gosh. I could have sworn it was 2021 because I specifically cut out games that didn't have dates. No, curses. So it's 2022. I did this again. I even double checked. I'm making so Merlin. If you weren't here last week, I included an early access game for like games of 2020. So this is embarrassing. Oh well.
It's okay. This looks good.
It looks good. Yeah,
it looks so good. I suppose,
and it's possible. They just changed the date. Maybe they just delayed it.
It could be. It is possible if I had to pick a different game that doesn't have a release date, but I hope comes out in 2021, is Eastward. So yeah. So this is by a Chinese developer, Pixpill, and I believe they're Chinese. I'm pretty sure. But they are, so it's a story about kind of like in the vein of The Last of Us. There's like older guy escorting, like helping a young girl travel to sort of post-apocalyptic. It's not like a super bleak post-apocalyptic world though. Like society is in the state of collapse, but there's a lot of day-to-day life still going on. There's so it's not a super bleak post-apocalyptic. But
it reminds me of a game that I played maybe a few years ago. One Shot. A little bit.
Yeah, One Shot. Yeah, I've heard amazing things about the game, but I haven't gotten around to playing it.
That was a really great game. But yeah, that's also like post-apocalyptic, but not super bleak. Just a little bit. There's lots of fun characters to meet and stuff. So I loved that one. I looking at this one makes me think that I would probably love this one too.
Yeah, and that's a major focus of this game, is you sort of meeting the quirky, weird people that are all over this kind of ruinous world. So
I love the artwork for this. It's so beautiful, and it's like when you look at it, you definitely want to explore everything and speak to everyone. It has that fantastic feel to it, and just got the character designs for the NPCs. They just look so good.
Yeah,
everyone's an individual, and you want to speak to everyone.
And the color work is so, like, big thing here with pixel art. The color work is so well done in that they have like scenes that are kind of washed out. Like they're not quite pastel, but they're kind of more washed out to sort of imply like it's sort of summery or bright out. And then they have like more very bright for dark times, like colors are very vivid, bright neons going on. And then when you're out in the countryside, it's a bit more hyper saturated with the greens. It's just so well done. So you just the color work in this game are so good, especially after seeing a lot of doing the show every week. You see a lot of games that don't nail it so well, like this one does. Anyhow, Merlin, what is your number 4?
Number 4, I'd have to say, is probably Evil Genius 2. That one is a simulation game that's, I guess it's based on a game that I'd never heard of before either, but it's an older game from, I think, the early 2000s is when the first one came out. Evil Genius was, I think it was either 2004 or 2006 or somewhere in there. But it looks like this one is really improved upon the older one from what I've seen. And I really enjoy simulation games like this because I find it fun to like see what you can build and what things do even when you're not building. Like I really like to just set stuff up and just watch it happen with simulation games. It's just the whole idea of being a evil genius and trying to control the world is just a cute little idea that I don't think I've seen done before in a simulation game.
I love that you're constructing your base, and it's just brilliant. You got the little helicopter pad and everything, and it's so cool. And
Shark Tank and
I think there's like is there like a lava pit or something? There's something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like, it's always interesting to explore those kinds of games to see what you can build. Like, what did the developers add to you know, for me to add into my base or.
I would definitely watch you play this to see what traps that you would put in your own base. I would love to see that.
This really reminds me of Twin Point Hospital. In some ways, different thing.
Yeah,
but
I enjoyed that game a lot too. So
aesthetically kind of similar. Yeah. This is so cool. I'm sure like this is just there's gonna be so many like little points where you're just like I see what sensible chuckles. This just seems like it's gonna be loaded with them. My word. Yeah. All right, Rhodey, what is your number 4?
So my number 4 is definitely going into something that we are known for playing, but Coffee Noir business detective game. So yes, it is a detective game mixed with like a management simulator, which is. I played the demo. You can play the demo right now. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. The only criticism I have is like the tutorial is a bit like boring, but once you get past that, it is necessary because it does go into depth about what you've got to do. So basically, the husband of your lover that got killed, has gone missing, and you're doing a favor for someone to try and find him, and you're promised that they won't let anyone know that you know that your dead lover, basically. So you have to meet up with all these kind of coffee barons and make contracts with them to buy your coffee, and by doing that you get little tidbits of information, and every time you meet up with them it kind of like unlocks a bit more of the story, a bit more of more clues, and it's fully voiced as well, and it's just fantastic. And the management side of it as well is quite interesting because you have to sort out your all your workers as well, sort out how long they're going to work for, which parts of the business they're going to work on, what coffee that you're going to sell to your next customer, and you have to also get someone to find out what the next customer is into, like coffee wise, and also like what quirks they have, so when you go to meet them you pick the right sort of dialogue, so you make sure you rub them up the right way so they say, oh yes, yeah. And when you meet up with them and you converse with them, you also have to negotiate a good price for your coffee so your business doesn't go under. So yeah, it's just aspects. Yeah, it's so good. It is so good.
Normally the more elements you kind of throw into something, it can kind of muddy the waters of what the game is, but this one seems to be pretty coherent and just like, it's this in order to do this, in order to do this, yeah. And it all kind of ends up fitting together.
Ties together, yeah.
Oh yeah, completely. Just the tutorial was quite long. I wished they had cut it up into more sections, so you're still playing along in the game instead of just role playing with the person who's setting this all up. Basically, the daughter is one of the people that has called you in to help find her father, and you're just role playing with her on how to like do the business management side of it. And it goes, I felt like that was really dry and not so much fun, but once you got into it, doing the actual stuff, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I also like that it's like apparently set in 2021, so it's like but it's a futuristic 2021, so it's like the 1920s are still culturally the same.
Yeah, so it's like in Neo London. So you've got this like 1920s style, but you've also got this like beautiful, like almost cyberpunk bits that stick out as well when you go. I
was gonna say steampunk, yeah, very steampunk feel.
Oh, that's
but
awesome.
It's like really cool.
All right, my number 4 game is Alien Hominid Invasion, which does not have a release date. I've seen some other spots where they were intending it release in 2021, but it looks like they might have retracted that, but I'm not sure. But hopefully it does come out. This is actually a remake of Behemoth's, like one of their very first games that was a decent hit was Alien Hominid Invasion. It's where you get Castle Crashers. It's where you get
It reminded me of Castle Crashers.
Yeah. Battle Block Theater. Like this is sort of in that DNA, but it's completely remade. It used to be stranded on the Xbox 360, or the original Xbox. I think it was the Xbox 360. And so this is the first time it's ever been available on PC, and they've basically redeveloped it from the bottom up. So it's a remake I'm really looking forward to of a game I never got to play because I never had an Xbox 360. So I'm really looking forward to this. Yep. But yeah, release date approaching Earth.
I hope they're going to do the thing where you can buy multiple copies and you give to your friends like they did with Castle Crashers.
I feel like they probably would still do that. They didn't do that with Battle Block Theater, I don't think, but that's because that one is still very much you can play it by yourself, very and still enjoy it because it's a platformer. Playing with other people in that game is more just like you're seeing who gets through first kind of thing. It's not. There's never levels where you need 2 people in multiplayer Battle Block. But yeah, I hope they do that here because this one does seem like multiplayer does seem pretty integral to this game.
Right.
So yeah, that is Alien Hominid Invasion. And now finally I'm going to know why there's certain jokes in Castle Crashers that make reference to this. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Or it just won't make sense because it's the behemoth. All right. Number 3, Merlin.
Number 3. So this might be a little bit honorable mention, I guess, but my number 3 is the completion of Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Because it's arguably not a finished game right now. I don't own it yet. I am waiting to hear that it is less
safe.
buggy. Yes, that it is safe to play because I know that a lot of people that I have talked to that have it say there are too many game-breaking bugs.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many glitches that cause like some of them are just funny, and I love funny glitches. Like I would totally be down for that. But when you get a bug that doesn't allow you to use an elevator to progress the game, for instance, that's kind of where I kind of like go, I don't know that I want to play it, get so far, and then all of a sudden be unable to go forward. So it's iffy whether or not that that I would enjoy it right now. So I am looking forward to it being completed before I purchase, but that's my number 3 right now.
The tragic thing is really, I think most of the people I know who were looking forward to this game would still have been like, you know what, if it got delayed until the middle of 2021, I would not have cared. It would be like, okay, if it would be better in middle of 2021. It still has a mostly positive, but it's only 78%, which is kind of a big step down from The Witcher 3, which has like 98% on Steam. So
I wasn't a huge Witcher fan. I know a lot of people who liked The Witcher, but I never really got into it myself. I really like the look of Cyberpunk, though. I'm a big science fiction fan. I love that aesthetic. Some of my favorite movies were science fiction movies, and so I kind of like the whole the whole aesthetic of the futuristic, cyber, everybody's replacing their body parts type. It's interesting to me, but I don't want to get into it until I know that it's ready.
Yeah, and as it is, it does, the story, from what I hear, the story does end where they intended it to end, but it still kind of leaves a lot of things hanging, because I know they're intending to do additional patches, additional story releases. So yeah, it is for the optimal experience, and waiting is probably what you need to do.
Waiting's better, yeah.
All right, Rhodey, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is Ring of Fire. So this is one that I played at Adventure X, the demo for, and it's you're a detective, and you also have a partner in a world where people wear masks, and you're investigating a murder, and you have to look up on databases, you have to go and interrogate people, and you have to sort of choose how you're going to interrogate people. Are you going to be the good cop, or are you going to be very sort of forceful when you interrogate people? It's you can also, I think with this, you can also mess up, because when I played the demo, I messed up. So, because I did not want to be forceful, because it looked like, it looked like the person who had been murdered. I went to speak to the wife. The wife is a suspect, but she was all in tears and everything, and I didn't know whether that was going to be real or not. And so I just went for, I'll be nice. Be nicey, but then she just shut the door in my face. The guy said, "Oh yeah, if you'd been forceful, you would have been questioned her." And I just that just doesn't seem like that intuitive to me. Sorry. Oh well.
I know you're mourning your dead husband, but I think you killed him.
Yeah. Let me in.
Yeah. I wonder, so I'm pretty sure this one, I think I had heard about this one. This one was definitely developed pre-pandemic. So the whole everyone in London wearing masks was
that's Timelie in a weird way. Yeah.
We spoke about this after I came back from Adventure X, because we were having a look, because it was the style of the game was just so different from a lot of point and click games that I'd played, and it's got that nice noir feel, but with this kind of strange color palette. But it looks great though.
On the in the realm of it seems that our number 3s have all been kind of neo noir, and I'm going to complete that hat trick with Stray. So Stray is a game where you're set in a world where all the humans are gone, basically, and they've been replaced by robots. And this is, of course, published by Annapurna Interactive, notable Swedish studio. And you play as a cat in this world of robots.
This looks so good.
It looks so good. I've been looking into what type of game, so they describe it as exploration, so I imagine there'll be some platforming, some puzzling, but it's just the aesthetic that kind of won me over. It's this is so cool. Just such a cool idea. And are they robots because there's a robot takeover, or are they robots because everyone uploaded themselves? I want to find out. There's so much about this world that's really interesting to me. And the fact you run around with a cat with a mechanical backpack and you're just exploring. It's a neat character to play. So I really, really hope they stick to their release date and it comes out in 2021. So.
I've just seen that screenshot with the cat at the bar, and it's just sitting there very patiently, and it's just so cute in that little backpack.
This is adorable. I really like games that kind of take you into a different character than is typical. I really enjoyed Among the Sleep for the same reason, playing a toddler. So like playing a cat is intriguing to me. I think that this would be a lot of fun.
And just the unique camera angle you get to have, where everything looks so much bigger, it just gives you, like, you're probably not going to feel very claustrophobic most of the time, because you're just walking down these big alleys, but it's, they're actually just really small alleys, and it's just that you're so small. It's just
small, yeah.
It's a cool point of view. Ah, man, I'm excited. Stray. Number 2, Merlin.
Number 2. So number 2 and my number 2 and my number 1 were probably very close. My number 2, I would have to go with Psychonauts 2, the sequel to one of my favorite games of the early 2000s. That game looks fantastic and is well overdue for a sequel. I really enjoyed Psychonauts. Played it through. I think I played it through completely twice, but I tried to actually 100% it, and that's rare for me with a platformer. I don't typically enjoy platformers so much that I want to go back and replay. The story in the original Psychonauts game is just so good, and it's so well done, and all of the levels fit that weird, like, psychic sort of going into people's heads, and they're facing their inner demons and such. It's just a really interesting story, and to have it finally have a sequel is just really, really exciting for me.
I loved the original when it came out, and it's which is surprising because I'm not a platformer person at all, but I absolutely adored that game. The stories were just fantastic, and you didn't
done.
Yeah, and you didn't get punished too much if you messed up on the platforming. But the very last bit was
Oh yeah, that last level is punishing for sure. But yeah, the whole game leading up to that level kind of prepares you for it. You get more and more life. I mean, it's not called life. I can't remember what they represent life with in the game, but yeah, you keep getting more and more of those, and throughout the game as you go. So when you get to that final level, which is arguably one of the hardest levels in a platformer ever made, that level, you should be well enough prepared to do it 10, 20, 30 times even to get through it. It's really good though. So yeah, seeing it, Tim Schafer is just a story narrative genius in my opinion. Any of his stories that he turns out, I have really enjoyed. I love Tim Schafer. So
yeah, Psychonauts was one of the early games that kind of looked almost like a movie rather than a game.
Yeah, and I didn't look into too far into the sequel to see if they got the voices back. I think they did though. The guy who voiced Invader Zim, I'm trying to remember his name now. He does the Rasputin, and I think they got him again.
Oh, nice.
Not sure though. Want to look.
But yeah, it's so good. I really do hope that it comes out this year, because this is one that's been delayed for quite a while, and it was kickstarted on Fig. That's their own company's like crowd funding website, and they got the money, but now they're got a publisher now as well. So yeah,
oh yeah, Xbox Game Studios.
Yeah,
it does sound like him. I think they did get the original voice actor, which is really good.
That is awesome.
Mhm.
All right. My number, let me see. My number 2 is, so it's going to be my second remake, but it is Nier Replicant, which of course has this absurdly horrible name, for 1.22474487139, because of course the developer, his name is slipping my head all of a sudden. But yes, Nier. So this is Nier Replicant. This was never released in the West. And with it getting like a full development, and it's like the prequel to Nier Automata. Although I think, I'm not entirely sure how Nier chronology works. I just know I really loved seeing these games played. The soundtracks are some of my favorite music ever. I'm really looking to the remastering of Nier Replicant's soundtrack. And it's just, I'm so excited for this. So excited. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to Toy Logic's next title. And yeah, this is published by Square Enix, so it's not, and it indie is definitely not really there, but it's one of the 2 games that I'm definitely looking forward to. One of the top 2. Yep. So Nier Replicant. All right. Merlyn, what is your number 1?
We skipped Rhodey.
Oh, we skipped Rhodey? I'm sorry. Rhodey, go ahead.
So
I totally skipped you.
My number 2 is Rosewater.
Rosewater. There we go. Nope, that is not it. One word. There we go.
Word? Yeah, one word.
Ooh.
So yeah, this is a point-and-click game. It's by the same guy that did Lamplight City. And if you seen that game and how that plays out, that game was so good. I watched Sincerely Day play it, and it's just the unfolding of the story, questioning people, and the time that it was set in. It was just really well done, and I really liked the artwork for it as well. And I'm hoping that it brings something that it's similar here as well. But this is set in the West, not spaghetti western. But yeah, this is, so I'm curious how this one is going to play out.
Yeah, they're going for a slightly different style, because if I remember, Lamplight City was more pixel art, and this one's going for the more like 1990s point and click look. And
no, the Lamplight City it looks 1990s as well.
Oh, okay. But this one's more like the sort of like sprite, but not pixel art. It's more high definition looking.
Yeah.
Backgrounds are more detailed, yeah.
Which I think I prefer the pixel art look, but I'm biased. It doesn't look bad, but I do prefer the pixel art look.
I think when they do the cutscenes and they got close up of people's faces, that doesn't look so great.
No.
Yeah.
But they definitely nailing the setting. Like this looks so. I've been through towns that look like this, so it's this is a cool. It's a cool scene. It's a cool realm to be in. Alternate 19th century. That's neat. Yeah, this is cool. And of course, from a developer, can at least make good games. So this one will hopefully be up there too.
Yeah.
All right. Of course, that was your number 2. So back in the correct order, Merlyn, you're number 1.
My number 1, you're not going to find on Steam, unfortunately, but it is a VR adventure in one of my favorite series of all time, the Sam & Max series. They titled this one Sam & Max. This time it's virtual. You can find the trailer, I believe, on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. I couldn't.
Okay.
I couldn't find it on Steam when I last looked, but it's slated to come out this year. I'm not 100% sure when, but having just got VR, I'm super excited to see what they do with a Sam and Max adventure inside VR. Like throwing, like Max is just one of my favorite characters in a video game of all time. Like his snarky little one-liners and just his attitude just make me giggle. His constant wanting to, you know, let's use violence. Let's use violence. Problems. And while Sam is the straight man and like, no, Max, like, come on. I love the interaction between the two characters. I think they're cute and funny in just all the best ways. And I can't wait to see what they do with a virtual reality adventure.
I like heard that they did do like a direct sequel to Sam Max Hit the Road, but before they could publish it, like that whole division of the point and click, that division, like when they said no. So somewhere there is a sequel to Sam and Max Hit the Road. Someone, and I'm hoping now that, you know, they've ramped up LucasArts again, that someone's gonna dig it up.
With all of the what was it? The Telltale games, all of the when they did the episodic Sam and Max's long time ago.
Yeah.
Those were some of my favorite games too for quite some time. I think they did 3 seasons of that, if I remember correctly. I know there was one that was in the first one was, I think, Sam and Max. Trying to remember, because I know there was the Devil's Playground. That was one season where the big bad was the devil at the end.
Oh, yeah, and the first Devil's one, Playground. Oh, Playhouse.
Or Playhouse. Yeah, the first one was with the cult leader, and I can't remember what that was called either. It's been so long. I think it's been like 20 years since I've played those games. But Sam and Max Saved the World. That was the first one.
I actually own all of their there's Choose Your Own Adventure games by that studio that went out of business. Telltale, yes, Telltale. I have all their Telltale games, and I have not played them through. I really need to, because it seems like such an iconic franchise with a really iconic characters and story. And I've liked like the comics with the jokes and the memes I've seen around these characters, and it's like, I really need to like actually play this to understand. They're definitely some really good classic characters. I remember seeing the comics back when I was like a really little kid in the back of was it Game Pro magazine? I don't know. Or maybe it was Nintendo World. I can't remember. One of those gamer magazines that we used to get. Gamer magazines.
I know. What is that like now?
My word, funny. That was back in the old times.
Back in the 90s and the late 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Rudy, what is your number one?
My number one is Chinatown Detective Agency.
Good. Chinatown. All right, so I was actually worried that my number one would be the same as yours, so I'm kind of glad.
So, this is it's set in Singapore, I think, but I think you travel. You're trying to unravel a global conspiracy, and there are like some big players that are influencing your investigation, and you have to use. It's a bit like Carmen Sandiego. You have to use like real world research to solve the case and stuff. So you have to like Google a lot of things. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It just looks amazing, and I really like this style of like pixel art. It looks so good. But there's I think there's like a demo. Yeah, there's a day one like prologue that you can play through.
Oh, nice. I'm always glad when games do that. I think that's one of the best ways to promote it. Man, this looks really good. I had forgotten about this one. I need to add this to my wish list. It's just got such good style and yeah, just a great theme. This reminds me of a lot of like kind of older movies set in the Chinatown, like either an investigator or like the old Chinese like Shanghai and Hong Kong movies.
Yeah.
This seems like almost a love letter to that.
I love the Carmen Sandiego vibe. I love that.
Yeah, love it.
That alone made me wish list it.
I suppose on hitting some similar notes, but a bit different. My number one is Backbone, which kind of surprised me a little bit looking in my wish list. And I was just like, oh, okay, what am I most looking forward to in 2021? And yeah, I was surprised that it landed on Backbone, but it does. There's just this combination that it's set in an alternative reality Vancouver, which, is a place I know. And it's got this whole like cool pixel art aesthetic with great lighting work and just funny, quirky characters and premise, and you're a detective who's a raccoon. So
I'm
it's just
seeing some similarities.
Mhm.
Yeah. To all of our number ones, actually.
yeah. Our games have kind of rhymed at parts. So and I think 2021 looks like it's going to be a good year for kind of alternative reality, futuristic type games. It seems that 2021 has that theme. But yeah, this looks great, and I like that it's sort of I think 2021 is going to be a different theme than we had the post-apocalyptic, we had the zombies, we had the we've had these years, and I think it's going to be this sort of gritty futuristic thing is kind of cool.
The developer was, after getting lots of feedback from the prologue that people played, so they were trying to, because there are a lot of stealth elements in this and puzzle elements, and usually people who play like point and click games, they don't really like or even play stealth, so they couldn't pick up on the sort of cues on what you're supposed to do with the stealth elements. And the same with the people who play a lot of stealth games but don't play like those point and click sort of games that have those puzzles in. They couldn't really, even though I felt they were quite easy, the puzzle elements, they people that like stealth games couldn't get their head around the puzzles, so they're trying to sort of makes adjustments to those, so like people can get their head around it or ease them into it a lot better. So I'm curious as to how they're going to manage that.
Yeah, I'm curious because sometimes when you merge genres, you come out with a bit of a mess, and other times you can come out making something a little bit new. That kind of starts a trend, like we saw that with a couple years ago with Slay the Spire. It's like, roguelike card deck builders. So, that's now an entire genre. Although I don't think any games in that genre have yet surpassed the original. But the Backbone has the potential to do that if they nail this, where they kind of merge two different factions, or it could end up being a mediocre example of both, which not be so great. But needless to say, I gotta check this out. It's fun. I recently went to Vancouver last year, and just being able to look at streets and was like, oh, I've been there. Oh, I know what that is. And it's just like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Or at least I know what he's basing that street off of. But yeah. So yeah, that is our most anticipated games. But you also come here for more than just that. We have some catch-ups to do. these are games that came out during our nope, I keep hitting the wrong one. These are games that came out during our hiatus last year. We've got a few more to go through, and then we're going to get to the release list. So what came out this week? And also, hello, Sincerely Day and Case the Joint. Hello. All right, so starting off, we have Catch Up for May 19th, Dark Nights with Poe.
So guide local radio host Poe and Munro through 6 TV-like episodes of supernatural strangeness and sizzling on-screen chemistry from the creators of The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker and the Shape-Shifting Detective.
Oh, Shape-Shifting Detective, the same folks. Dang. Yeah, this looks really neat. I think I found out interesting about the developer. They hold the Guinness World Book, or at least they held at one point the world record for the most movie clips in an FMV. So they had over 1,000 in one of their games of different optional videos that you could run across. Just, branching narratives, which I think is just kind of goes to show how much effort they put into these games.
I'm getting Mulder and Scully vibes here.
Yeah. the one of the people has said that. He says, let's just say if you're into the X-Files, She Sees Red, and Until Dawn, you're going to love Dark Nights with Poe and Munro.
That's enough for me. I used to be a huge X-Files fan back in the day.
So I played Dr. Decker, their first game. I do have the Shape-Shifting Detective, so I've yet to play that though. This does seem like the weaker one of the three, but I'm still going to pick it up and play it because I recognize some of the actors and actresses in this that were in the previous one, and I want to see where this is going, because it was all the Dr. Decker was all a bit bonkers and I loved it. So apparently each case is about 15 to 20 minutes of playthrough. So was it 20 to 30 minutes? But they're quite short, basically. They're very short. So and there are multiple endings to each case.
So 2 to 3 hours for a single playthrough.
Maybe, yeah. So yeah, I'm curious, and I will definitely pick this up at some point.
Yep. It is $12.99 US and from a well-respected FMV studio. So you're gonna get quality, although I don't know if it's gonna be as good as the previous ones, because I hear a lot of good things about Shape-Shifting Detective. So
I'll have to add those as well. This is my style of game for sure.
It's $9.99 in the UK, but you can get the bundle. And if you, I've already got one of the previous games, but still, it's like 10% off, so it's $8.99.
Nice. All right. Our next title is Left on Red.
It's March of 2020. You were just sent home from college because of the coronavirus. You have a few small regrets, mainly not telling someone how you really feel.
This became a genre last year and into this year.
What was the name of that one? I'm sorry.
Left on Red. So
Left on Red.
Red is an READ.
Gotcha. Oh, this is a free game.
Yep. So I think it's a kind of it's a neat preference of not preference. It's a neat it's
a platformer where you have to jump from like sort of one response to the other.
To choose how you're gonna say it, and which is a neat kind of fusion where so you take kind of like platforming, which it's not really serious platforming, but it's just kind of the mode of moving forward, and choices matter type game.
I think it's like it's a cute game, and it's obviously very on the nose, but it's I think for a free game, it's something quite nice. Yes, dialogue tree platformer. I like that description. Yeah,
exactly.
sure.
That's a good one, JJ. Yeah, it's even though it is very on the nose, I like how creative it is in that for much of this year, this is how we've been communicating with a lot of our loved ones, is just through text messages. I mean, I suppose they could do a Zoom platformer or a Discord platformer, but we've probably I've definitely communicated a lot more in text than I did in the past. But I was also kind of an old fogey in some ways. I was preferred to call people or to like meet people in person, and this year has made that a bit more. For some people, I've called more, and other people I've been just texting, like my coworkers.
I wonder how long this takes to play. It's a game. Games relevant to me, similar to games I've played. It says one shot is similar, which is interesting.
Yeah, I've seen on the reviews. There's a lot of people with like under an hour, and then I think some people have replayed it and they've got like 3 to 4 hours on there. So I think one playthrough is probably under an hour.
Yeah. And yeah,
it's decent. I mean, it's a free game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's developed by Weston Belgedes, who is a solo dev from Los Angeles. Our next title is Boreal Tenebrae.
Delve into the dream of a dying town in Boreal Tenebrae. A retro-style adventure with horror elements.
At first I thought this kind of looked like a sock pop game, but then of course you have the characters, and the character models are different, but the environments make me think sock pop.
Yeah.
It's like the what's it? A short hike kind of graphics. Those kind of graphics.
Yeah, this is developed by Snot Bubbles Productions, which is based out of Vancouver, BC.
Act 1. That means there's more coming? Or is there more released?
I don't. When I looked, I don't think they have released any more. I think this is a first and only effort so far on Steam anyway. So we don't know. They haven't said when the next game is coming out yet. So
similar to, for my similarity, is it says Gris and What Remains of Edith Finch. Yeah. I really liked Edith Finch. I mean, that was a trip. Wow.
So it says, taking clues from the fixed camera angle games of the PS1 era and the dream logic of works like Yamaniki, vignettes beget vignettes in this web of trees and streets. Explore the interweaving narratives of a northern community cast adrift in an increasing urbanized world. The town is sick. Anger seethes and builds like static in the signal. Will it navigate this sea of noise or be washed away by the degraded wave? Solve the murder, find Sarah, complete the ritual. The truth is deeper still. Yeah. And there's detective work to be done. It's only £2.09. I've seen anything from under an hour to 3 hours of gameplay to 4. So I think.
Yeah, it says $3 and $2.99 American. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a shortish experience.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad price for that, but
no.
It's got style going for it. Even though I'm not particularly into the genre of horror, this one is intriguing just in its sort of style that's presented. So, yeah.
Yeah, it does look trippy.
Trippy.
Yeah.
Also, the trailer is crazy long at over 3 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Our next title is If Found ...
If Found is a game about going home, coming out, and erasing everything.
Is this made by the same people that did Gone Home? Because it's like the exact same font
it does
as Gone Home.
It's published by Annapurna.
I don't remember who did Gone Home.
No, I don't think it's the same person.
I think it's the same.
It's interesting because that also is the same theme, even Gone Home, going home, coming out. Yeah.
So it's a game about searching for connection. On December 31st, 1993, in the crumbling ruins of a mansion on Archil Island, Cassio destroys her diary. It tells the story of her return home to the west of Ireland, her conflict with her family, the friends she makes, and the challenges she goes through. Everything leads to this night when a black hole will destroy the entire world. Where did it come from, and is there any way to stop it?
Fulbright did Gone Home. Okay. Yeah, this is not the same developer then.
They're making, at the very least, an homage, I think.
Right.
So.
Very much so.
But and this one has a black hole.
Yeah.
Which, is it a metaphorical black hole? Well, I don't know.
Hard to
Well,
say. You'll have to play.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, that is Dream Fields.
Yeah, and it's at 93% positive with 409 reviews. So it's
And it's $12.99. Let me see. How long does it look like? It's probably...
It's £10.29. About 5 hours. I've seen a lot of people with 3 hours gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So between 3 and 5.
So possibly a one-sitting game, but yeah. If Found. Right. Our next title is Umurangi Generation.
Umurangi Generation is a first-person photography game in the shitty future.
Wow.
Hashtag relatable, right?
Set in Taronga, Aotearoa.
Aotearoa, which is the that's so they're using the Maori name for New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Off the back of an impending crisis, you are a courier for the Taronga Express. Throughout the game, you will unlock a variety of lenses and equipment. So I love the fact that you have to just take pictures for clients and stuff. I love that.
In the shitty future.
I love that. So that's cool. It seems to have a very it's very much based around I'm gonna assume the characters are probably Maori, just based on the theme. But that's really, it's not something I've seen very often. And yeah, it's sort of like Pokemon Snap, but it's sad. That is
Tagline: Pokemon Snap, but sad.
I do so they have this low poly style, but it's not similar to other low poly styles I've seen. Like they're definitely going their own way, and they're going for a look where a lot of the characters are kind of caricatures, which I always appreciate when a game can go for that style. Yeah, this is neat looking, kind of trippy.
Yeah, I do like it. It's definitely one to put on my wish list, I think, because that just going around taking pictures, and they say you can do it anyway. Like they give you say, oh, you got to take a picture of such and such. You can do it anyway, sort of you want, really. So I like that sort of. that's like creative freedom.
It's like,
It's a
okay,
good
I want the
point
sun
that
to
there
set
aren't
a bit
very
more.
many.
Mm.
There aren't very many first-person photography games. That's for sure.
There are not.
What JJ said.
Yeah, there really are not, and it's a genre that it's cool that this is what's cool about indie games is that even though sign on rare genres that the AAA space is kind of left in squalor, the indie scene is there to fill in the blanks and do something new. That's cool.
It's £11.39, and it has 95% positive with 312 reviews. And I'm seeing like a variety of times on here, but it looks like it's maybe like 4 to 5 hours, maybe a bit more if you wanted to explore a little bit more and take more pictures.
Yeah, maybe at that price it's $14.99. Maybe wait for a sale, but unless you really want to pick this up. But yeah, it's still priced as an indie, so I'm not too irritated by it. If it was $30, I'd be like, okay, no.
Yeah.
What I would be looking like, what else has Origame made?
I've pointed out in the past, not today, but in the past, that $14.99 is basically a movie if you were going to the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
So that's if you get more than 2 hours of entertainment out of it, it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
No? So.
2 hours of quality entertainment. Yeah. There's definitely movies I walked out of just like,
right?
I want my money back. But I don't get my money back because I don't want. There's those poor people working at the and I'm just like, no, I want to make sure you can keep your job, but that movie was terrible. And it's not your fault, but that movie was terrible. All right, our next title is Cannibal Cuisine.
The god Huchibu is hungry for you, but serving is better than being served in this co-op cook-em-up. Chop up vegetables, fruits, and tourists, and serve your divine delectables in arcade style with up to 4 chefs.
Oh my gosh, this is like Overcooked 2 on drugs. I love it.
It's so cute, and it's kind of gotten overlooked because it's only got 40 reviews, 80% positive so far, but just an awesome theme. And I love how it just goes like, chop up vegetable, fruits, and tourists, just no stop, just keep going through that sentence. And you're like, wait, what?
Overcooked plus murder, yeah.
So it's just fantastic, and
I'm adding this one.
Yeah,
this is definitely a wish list game.
So you go hunting for tourists. I just love that. It's just it's so cool.
It looks great. It looks very really polished and everything. It's and I love the extra elements of it. You know, there's these the spikes on the floor and everything. These extra dangers. This is like really well thought out. Definitely.
I love the fact that they added fighting to a cooking game. This is fantastic.
Oh man, I love the thing. It's so good, so good. Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing over and over. But yeah, this is developed by Rocket Vulture. Rocket Vulture, yeah. So who also did? Nope, this is all they did. Okay, this is the only game so far. Yeah,
over 20 fine dining. Like that's cute. The puns.
Yep, and it's only $12.99. I wish they had a 4-pack for this because I think it's up to 4 players. And they do have online, so online co-op and online PvP. So, yeah,
Nice.
Selling it as a package is a good idea.
$10.99, not bad.
Not bad. Our next title is Neversong.
Sorry, load. Help little Pete hack and slash his way through a beautifully haunting coma. a hand-drawn action-adventure through a dreamy world filled with fleshy monsters, insane grown-ups, and sad children looking for their mummies.
Oh, that's depressing. Yeah, this is by Serenity. This is published by Serenity Forge, which is based out of Boulder, Colorado, and developed by Atmos Games and Serenity Forge. That they're known for. Oh, Kingsbird. That's what they're known for. Kingsbird, A Case of Distrust. Were all published and or developed by Serenity Forge as well.
So many that look like they're something I would play today. Like, wow.
It's kind of, I do like the color scheme. It's a bit like a more colorful, not Inside. I'm thinking of another one where it's kind of just black and white and you're just creeping around. Maybe it is Inside I'm thinking of.
Inside and Limbo. You're probably
Limbo.
I'm
thinking of
Limbo
Limbo.
was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, this really reminds me of Limbo.
Limbo was really good.
Both
of them. Both of those were really good. Really.
Oh, Day's played this. Did you enjoy playing?
I'm surprised it doesn't compare. Steam doesn't compare him to that.
Yeah, I'm just Stanley Parable and Beginner's Guide.
It's comparing it to Children of Morta, which I've played, but I guess okay, they're both story-rich RPGs. I can guess I can see that, but I've probably not really played many games similar to this.
This is £11.39, and it's at 90% positive with 459 reviews. The recent views though, it's come down to 79% with the 29 reviews. So, they kickstarted. Wow.
Okay, so so this was a Kickstarter game then. Well,
nice.
Just another thing that like Kickstarter's like either they come out with something great, or they come out with nothing at all, or they come out with something that's extremely disappointing. But it's always cool to see those ones that end up succeeding because it's like, oh man, you made this happen. Just people wanting the game.
Crowdsourcing.
I think it will help get the point and click genre going again because they found that actually there are quite a few people that want to play point and click games, and when Tim Schafer brought out his idea
Broken
Age? People piled onto that, and then you got like loads of people developing point and click games of varying degrees of how good they are.
So for Neversong, for this kind of horrific children's book art style of a game, it's only $14.99. All right, our next title is Timelie, with L-I-E at the end.
Timelie is a stealth puzzle adventure where you control time like a media player. Perceive future events to plan your escape strategy from the past. Sneak an enemy and manipulate time through this companionship journey of a mysterious cat and a little girl with a precognitive power.
This game
looks good too.
Is on the Game of the Year of so many people that I generally trust their reviews. And I just never checked it out. It wasn't even on my radar. But this one apparently did really well. It's overwhelmingly positive with 97%. And almost 1,000 reviews.
Wow.
What was there was a game that was probably like 25 years ago that had that time mechanic where you could rewind time and...
Braid,
yes. I loved that game, and that whole mechanic, it takes a little bit of the pressure off of the decisions that you're about to make.
Yeah.
Obviously, Life is Strange too, but yeah.
You can keep kind of just rewind and start over. That was fun.
See if you didn't like the way that played out. Try again.
And then they do trippy stuff where some things don't rewind. And then it's...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, this is developed by Ernike Studio, which is based out of Thailand, and I think it's only a couple. This is a really small team that they made this game, from what I understand. So,
I mean, they added a cat, so it's got to be better.
I am curious as to why this one is so overwhelmingly positive, because it's seen quite a few similar games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if it's like the story that's really like pushed it over to make it like so good. So I'm really very curious about that. It is $13.99 UK. I'm just wondering how long it is. I was seeing like anything from 8 hours to 12 hours. So yeah, it's quite a, not the longest of games, but
that is pretty clever. So they use the in order to watch the future happen, you use almost like a video navigation, like a video, like just run the slider over the playback to see like when things will happen. That is pretty interesting.
It's interesting, yeah.
That's an interesting way to do it, in the YouTube generation. So. Very
and the
clever.
cat, the addition, like, I don't know how do you control the cat, or is the cat just part of the journey? Like, that's
it
looks like it does things on its own, but you have to basically learn how to make it do things by what you do. It's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like the cat might be pretty autonomous. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
All right, and that is $17.99 US. Timely. All right, our next title and last title for our catch-up list is Starena.
Starena is a boss rush arena game with RPG elements in 3D voxel art. As a robotic gladiator, Mecha Reaper J3, fight all kinds of robots in the most thrilling intergalactic fighting tournament. Customize your weapons, choose your fans, and give the audience a good show to get their support.
This game, even no matter what genre or anything, it's just charming. It's just a straight up charming premise, charming art style. I'm not a big fan of voxel art, but this one does it pretty well. So
this does look good. It looks cute.
So it's
I love the voice acting.
So it's a comedy brawler. That's there's not too many. Well, the brawlers are all over the place, but the fact that you got kind of a comedy narration, it's just kind of like wacky. That's pretty neat. I like that.
There are over 30 bosses. So nice. So there's quite a lot to do in there. I like that you get to sort of interact with your fans as well.
It's almost like a WrestleMania with robots.
Yeah.
And apparently you can like heavily customize the weapons and the character and just down to the pixels, just making it yourself. So that is pretty neat.
It's
the aesthetic looks like Frozen Synapse, Case says.
BattleBots. BattleBots, yeah.
20% off right now because there's a Midweek Madness sale on, so it's £9.11.
Yep. It is developed by Dark Sun Studio and published by Gamera Game, which is based out of Shanghai, China. All right. Remaining in Shanghai, we are now coming to our releases, our hidden gems. We dug through this week's release list and we found some really great gems to show you. And first, of course, from Shanghai Game Studio is The Call of the Paper Plane.
Welcome to the relaxing adventure game Paper Airplane. Move the paper plane up and down to avoid obstacles. Leap over fields, towns, forests, and many other scenes. Listening to the music, let us go on a fantasy journey with the paper plane.
Well, it's the call of paper plane, not call of the paper plane. But yeah. This from what I've read of the reviews, because I was really curious, like what type of game this is. This is kind of a walking simulator, but there's a lot of little like Easter eggs you can find. Like there's interesting things you can do with the plane, like interact with swings, interact with just different things you can run across. But it's not a very long game, but it's but you're just kind of drifting through, and it's just a relaxing experience.
That's quite nice. It reminds me of there was a game that we saw that was set in like France, where you had to go through the
where you
town.
played a sparrow in Brittany. Brittany,
Yeah,
France.
yeah.
It does look super relaxing, like just a nice, calm game.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the call of paper playing.
It's £2.89.
Yeah, $3.99 US. And that was, of course, Monday, January 11th. Our next game is Saturn Quest.
Come on, load. Sorry.
Is that Blast Effect?
So this is by Arkhouse Games. And
Arkhouse Telegraph.
Yeah, Arkhouse Telegraph. Yep.
Yeah. Saturn Quest Blast Effect is a story-driven action-adventure game set in the humanless galaxy far, far away. Fly, climb, shoot, explore the world, and fight the giant bosses in this 8-bit style space opera full of drama and epic.
So this game has been in development a long time. I think it even had a previous release. Let me see. Yes, there was a Planet Quest Shadow of Planetus. And I'm not... Let me see. I wonder if this is a sequel. It says story... I just don't know how this is related to Planetus or not. Because the character looks the same. But I don't know if it's new bosses, etc. But it's very much the same engine as the previous game.
I'm liking some of the art style for this. It looks really...
Really trippy, really weird.
Yeah, really creepy, but it's done really well.
That's Saturn Crest. There's kind of a cult following of this developer. But most of the chat I've just seen, on Twitter and on other places. And I'm sure there's only been a handful of reviews of this game so far, though. And it's like 50-50 negative positive.
I like the features. There's arcade style action, blast processing, square pixels, retro style chip tunes.
Not quite 8-bit art. Yeah,
not quite.
It's not quite 8-bit, but definitely has that vibe.
Definitely has that vibe. It's not really a game I'm particularly looking for, but it's got its style and it really nails it.
It's £2.60p.
It's on sale here. $3.59 US.
Yeah.
From our next day, Tuesday, January 12th, is Shot in the Dark, and it's the one that actually costs money. Yeah, one is free and this one costs money. There's two games called Shot in the Dark.
Armed with nothing but a 6-gun, and the lone bandit will need a quick hand and a sharp eye to fend off the nightmares lurking in the dark.
So this is a little pixel art shooter. You have to aim with your cursor and just click. So, you click it to kill it. Yeah.
The black and white is an interesting choice, just because of the fact that everything is black and white. The shot in the dark makes sense then. You're shooting potentially in the dark at a black enemy.
Yep.
It's interesting.
And then they use red to add, basically just accent when necessary. Yeah. Lots of style here. I feel like this person's probably a fan of Helsing or
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. It's like, I can see what this person's interests, this developer's interests.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. I'm curious, with you having a 6-shooter, do you only have six shots per level, or is there like a reload? I am curious about
interesting. That. Good question.
So one of the reviews says, great level design, cool music, nice art direction. Cons, very difficult, at times unfair. So,
That can be... The difficulty can be kind of refreshing. I know back in the day when I played The Way for the first time, that game has some real difficult levels. Like, I guess I wouldn't call them levels because it's not really a level game. It's just that you progress through the story. But there were later on some shooty parts that were insanely difficult to get through. And I kind of feel like that's lost nowadays.
Yeah, I do like it when a game kind of does jump on that. That's what I'm going through with Fels here right now, is there's a bit of a difficulty curve that I kind of hit. And I know that with a lot of RPGs, you eventually get to the point where you're just overpowered. And right now I'm kind of in that place where it's like, okay, I gotta level up my character some more. I gotta kind of like keep trying different strategies. And that's how you kind of learn how the game works is when you have to reapproach like that. So this isn't a very long game, so even it does have a super difficult section.
It's about 3 hours.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like it really has a lot of puzzle elements though. It's really just the shooter platformer aspects, right?
Yeah, that is what it looks like. So yeah, it is only $7.99 US, and that's currently 20% off from $9.99 US.
It's it's £5.75 with the 20% off.
And the developer is Possum House Games, and they are based out of Rochester, New York. Our next title is Yaga.
Plays Ivan, a one-handed blacksmith with incredibly bad luck, who must take on the impossible task given to him by the Tsar. All the while, the mysterious witch, Baba Yaga, watches over Ivan's fate.
It's pretty neat little action RPG. I like how you can replace your missing arm with some sort of tool of your choice. So it's either big claw or just a shield or something. And I love that the monsters are all from kind of Slavic legend, or Eastern European legend.
I saw somebody play this recently.
Sorry,
I'm not sure.
I've been seeing it go around a wee bit.
That replace your arm mechanic is kind of iconic a bit.
I was expecting this to be like a roguelike, but it actually isn't. This seems to be just more of a straight RPG, where you just kind of gradually go through the story. And yeah, just very heavily influenced on Eastern European lore.
I really like the look of it, and I like all the equipment tree and all those components that you're putting together and everything. I like that little detail. It's quite nice. And then you've got this destiny thing as well. You've got showing these cards that you have to pick for your destiny.
Actually, cool. This is starting to sound like a roguelike, but apparently it isn't. There's multiple endings. Oh, interesting. I guess you have like good ends and a bunch of bad ends. Wow.
Sorry, you were going to say...
Oh, the Baba Yaga stuff is kind of interesting because I've been seeing a lot of popular culture things kind of reference Baba Yaga, and that that legend. So it's interesting that like I'm kind of curious where all of the where you know why is this all of a sudden Timelie again? But it's interesting.
I think to some degree, there's particularly in the last 10 years, there's been a lot more Eastern European developers and movie producers kind of getting a light in the West. So I think that's probably bringing it more to the public conscious. But yeah, there have been unusual amounts of Baba Yaga references and. Like,
I saw Scooby-Doo with Baba Yaga in it recently, and I was like, what? What?
Yeah. Yep. But this is developed by Breadcrumbs Interactive. They are a small studio based out of Cluj-Napoca, Romania.
It's 40% off right now at £11.39.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Like, it's a big chunk off there.
Yep. $14.99
US.
Yeah, and the dev is streaming it. They don't have a face cam though.
Yeah, the dev is streaming right now. That's
Our next title is N-Body.
So from one of our favorite developers is Sock Pup Collective. N-Body is a chill space golf video game. Launch stars in different solar systems with relaxing soundscapes and slowly formed constellations.
And it looks like there's sort of gravity effects, so you have to shoot the stars into the holes, but the different bodies are pulling on it. So that's kind of a neat sort of physics design.
It's definitely interesting. Yeah.
I love I do love Sock Pup, and they just come up with like such different games each time. We're in and this kicks off season 10 of their games. So
yeah, and I like that. So some of their games don't look as they have a trailer here for all the different Sock Pop games. Some of them don't feel as complete as others, but it is always neat just the weird ideas that exist in these people's heads. And it's like every 2 weeks a new game comes out, and sometimes they'll go kind of more into one than another. Like sometimes it's a really basic premise, and other times it's a bit more expansive. And that's just neat. It's cool.
I hadn't heard of these guys until today, and that's an interesting concept. Is it, you said a game a week that they do?
Every other week.
Every other week.
Yeah,
it's
so
pretty ambitious to.
I suppose it's taking like when they take like
game jams.
Game jams, and they're just seeing what people can come out with. Like focus on getting a very small, short experience out there, and just see what ideas you can come up with. So this has 12 different constellations to create, 4 different seasons with unique soundscapes, and 30 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah.
Sock Pop Super Bundle is 33% off for 77 games.
Oh, $164 for 77 games. That's that's you definitely will have a library to go through. I bet Rhodey, this sounds like a great idea for you.
No, this is the opposite of that. It's complete opposite. I've got plenty of games, thank you.
It's like that's like something like okay, you have, because I think Sock Pop's pretty good about, I don't think any of their games aren't kid friendly for the most part. Yeah, I can't think of any of their games that aren't. Some of them are a little creepy, but with Sock Pop, I feel like this is like a thing, like, kids, make sure you have your parental protections on your kid's Steam account. But like kids' first Steam accounts, like just the the entire
just
Sock
get
Pop
all of Sock
games.
Pop. Yeah, this is
there you go. 77 games.
Present.
All right. From Wednesday, January 13th, we have Skellboy Refractured.
Play as Skippy, the square, flexible skeleton in this cute action RPG, to keep a heartbroken court magician from destroying the world with his army of monsters and undead. Change out of your body parts with those of enemies and friends and become the hero of Q-Boy Boulde Kingdom.
Yeah.
Q-Bold.
It's so cute, and so you can get like a dog head, and then so you're running around and barking is one of your abilities. It's just so cute, and it has that sort of Paper Mario thing going.
Yeah, the 2.5D is what it says on the tag.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. And then Tenebrae as well.
It is developed by Umurangi Games, which they're based out of Germany. Just a really small studio, and I think they only have 4 devs on their team. And yeah, this is really, really impressive. Skellboy Refractured. It's there is a free demo, and this is 10% off at $17.99.
It's $13.94 UK. I'm just wondering how long it is. What does it say? And there's quite a few varied. It says it's got swap your bones for 100 plus different body parts, 5 unique weapon types, special enemies and bosses, although it doesn't say how many. The vibrant 2D pixel art style that comes to life in a 3D world includes some rocking chiptune tracks and sounds.
Now,
I like that there's a 2D co-op mode. That's or 2-player co-op mode. 2D. Take a 2D in my brain.
Oh god, no, that's really good because it looks like it would be fun to play with someone else.
Yeah.
this did just come out this week, of course, but I'm seeing up to 10 hours at most. So, yep. So maybe that might be the whole length. Yeah. So that is Skellboy Refractured. Our next title is not so much a game as it is a toy, and I'll explain my reasoning. But it is SuperMash.
New games every time you play, guaranteed. SuperMash auto creates retro games with crazy titles, mashed up gameplay and objectives, and even authentic bugs.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And of course, the reason I would call this a toy rather than a game, in that a game normally has like a set of rules, and you have an expectation of there's kind of a design that's going on there. Whereas this kind of defeats that, where it's like you have just a bunch of things that you can combine together, mash together, and see what you get, kind of thing. I feel like that's more of a toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. But this is just like one of those things that's like, oh, I wonder if these two genres would go together. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very curious about how the depths of the procedural generation. There seems to be like additional variables you can apply to the generation to see what you can get. So yeah, it seems they have platforming, they have RPG, they have kind of Zelda action RPG thing going. Yeah, and more.
Yeah, it looks like you could potentially make a game that you just could never complete because of how challenging it might be. I don't know. I don't know if they made it resilient enough to realize that it was like, oh, we can't beat this. Add in something that lets you alter the game on the fly, like that would be
not really for me, but I feel like I know people who could have a lot of hours of fun with this kind of thing.
Yeah,
same. I don't know that I could see myself playing this, or playing with this. But I definitely could see somebody that, people that I know playing this and having a great time.
I would love to watch someone play this. And I love that you have to collect cards.
Video game Lego. I like that description.
Yeah.
Silly Day asking is like trying to figure out what their idea board looked like.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, and this is tagged with Game Maker, so it might have been made with Game Maker.
It's 10% off right now at £13.94.
And yeah, it's 10% off, $17.99 USD. And is developed by Digital Continue, which is a studio based out of Queens, New York. Thursday, January 14th, is our next title, Leak Elite.
Experience the excitement of being part of an elite hacking group in this challenging turn-based tactics game. Hack up to 60 servers by exploiting their bugs and making them crash. Live a thrilling hacking story based on chat logs from real hackers.
Ooh. So yeah, this kind of a I've played a couple of these games, mostly on like Newgrounds and such, but it's neat to have this sort of puzzle kind of hacking type game. Oh, it's a nice genre. It has the aesthetic down. I could see myself checking this out, wanting to puzzle my way through things. It is a turn-based tactics game.
Yeah,
It's heavily story-based.
Servers. Hack up to 60 servers by exploiting their bugs and making them crash.
This is similar to Hacknet. Or I'm trying to like I've played hacker games on Steam before. I feel like Hacknet was one of them. I'm trying to think. There were a few others, and if it's anything like that, it's something that I probably would enjoy. But it looks like the mechanic kind of reminds me a little bit of Pony Island and how they how they did the hacking, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't think this one has any coding involved in it. I think it's just a turn-based tactics game with changing mechanics depending on the level.
And that's much more Pony Island-esque.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you probably got it nailed right there as to what they're going for here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
10% off right now at £6.29.
Yep, $8.99 US, and it's developed by micatrix.
I'm not sure how long it is, as there's not really any reviews for it that I could see.
I couldn't find any information on the dev, but this is their first game on Steam.
Okay.
Our next title by Yak & Company is Down in Bermuda.
An unnatural storm leaves an adventurous aviator stranded for decades within the infamous Bermuda. Overcome creatures of the deep and unravel the island's secrets in search of a way back home.
Was anyone else like me as a kid who thought like Bermuda was a fictional place because of all the sort of like woo-woo around all of it?
Yeah, I definitely was one of those kids that was like, oh, there's no way that Bermuda actually exists.
Yeah,
come on.
I had that kind of, and so my imagination was kind of wild as about like, oh, what is like the lands of Bermuda, all these bunch of islands, and then of course I, get a bit older and I find out that it's just like a British colony, British overseas colony off the coast of North Carolina.
It's an island, yeah.
Yeah, it's an island. People live there. You can book a flight right now for really cheap if you want to. So, well, I don't know about right now because
maybe not right now.
But yeah, it's a place you can go. So kind of ruined the whole mystique because there's all like the History Channel with all the woo-woo documentaries.
Bermuda Triangle and
Yep.
It looks super cute, this game.
Yeah. I feel like it's running off that premise of that sort of childlike wonder about this weird place you've heard about, but you have no idea what it's really like.
Yeah.
Right. It has a hidden object tag. That interests me. Like, where is the hidden object component? Because I don't really see that in the trailer, but maybe I missed it.
Yeah, it's got puzzle, point and click, hidden objects. So
yeah, I think there definitely is a hidden object, because if you look at the map here, it's kind of like, okay, I'm here, or you're looking at the different areas, and you're like, all right, maybe there's just something hidden.
It's more of like a pixel hunting type hidden object. Yeah. yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That makes
But it
sense.
seems to just be one aspect of the gameplay. Like maybe
Yeah.
you have to find this and you're doing all these puzzles and it's like, oh wait, what's this thing? Oh, there it is. So it's probably just a
I
little
like the art
touch.
style too. Yeah,
It's so
Sincerely
cute.
Day said she likes the art style.
Very cute. It is $11.99 USD. Yeah, it's just so quirky and cute. I like it.
Yeah, it's 40% off right now at £9.29.
Yak and Company also made Agent A Puzzle in Disguise. That was the previous game.
That was an amazing game. Amazing game to play. And that was, if I'd played it within sort of like the year we brought it out, and or maybe I did have it as one of my games of the year, because it was just so good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they've moved on to doing this though. I would love to just like them have a sequel out.
Yeah, because it didn't. It kind of ended in a way where it could continue, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Our next title is Dungeon and Puzzles.
Dungeon and Puzzles is a 2D spatial logic and ability switch puzzle game. The adventurer's ability depends on what equipment he currently uses. You have to think through every step. After clearing the level, you can try other routes of strategy to optimize your solution.
So they're very much going for... Let me see. Let's get some gameplay. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, interesting. Okay. So yeah, it is kind of one of these almost... it's on like an enhanced version of the sort of shuffle puzzles. Where you're trying to get things to happen based on where you have things located. And instead of like making a picture, you're just kind of trying to solve a situation. All right, that is cool. That is a neat idea. Also, very cute pixel art.
It's super cute.
Sokoban, yeah, some form of Sokoban. The movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 150 levels. That is quite a lot. I used to like play these kind of games, but I don't know, now whenever they're in a sort of mini game of something you're playing, I find them quite annoying.
Like, let me get back to that game.
Yeah, completely.
So point and click games or like hidden object games, whatever.
Yeah, if they're inside that, yeah. I don't so much mind them myself, but I could totally see them being like, "Oh, I gotta do one of these. Are you serious, game?"
Yeah.
There is a demo, and it's 10% off right now at £5.21.
Yep. $7.19, normally $7.99. And this is developed by Humo Fish Games, which is a studio located in Taipei, Taiwan. All right. Our next title is Cloud Climber.
A surreal first-person walking sim about the end of humanity. Explore magnificent skybound ruins and learn why they were built.
Yep. So this is a free game, and it's basically about, so all the water disappeared from the surface of Earth, and so people kept building towers to get up into the clouds to get water. And they just kept building them higher and higher and higher. So, clearly, metaphor going on here.
This game is like, it's only 30 minutes or something. So it's fully voiced. It's hand-drawn graphics. It's just, I don't know, it's quite a nice, like, walking sim, I think.
For a free game, it looks really good for a free game.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, just it's free. You can download it and play it this afternoon. So check it out. And it's developed by Two Star Games, which is a small studio in the USA. I assume this is functioning almost like a since it is free, just like that's that word, that P word that you have on next to your resume. Portfolio,
Prototype?
yes.
Oh,
Here I am.
portfolio, yeah.
I feel like I'm just having so many senior moments today. But yeah,
I feel like
Cloud Climber.
prototype might work too, though, because like maybe they want to make a bigger game and they just kind of wanted to proof of concept it a little bit and see like what they could do with it, and get their name out there a little bit, put out a free game, have people download it, take a look, and then maybe they'll turn out something even better later.
Yeah. Oh, showcase. Yes,
Showcase.
that's good.
Yeah, that's a good word too.
There just seemed like, I love the aesthetic, and there does seem to be like a little bit of puzzle stuff. It's mostly walking sim, but there's a little bit of puzzle stuff going on. I would really like it if with a big like puzzle type game where you're just kind of connecting all these towers. That would be so cool. I would be down for that. So, but yeah, it is Cloud Climber. Our final game from Thursday, January 14th is Sunlight.
Traverse a harmonious, hand-painted forest in this first-person hike. The trees guide you with gentle whispers as you explore a philosophical story. So this is another walking simulator, and again, it's 30 minutes long.
Yeah, 30 minutes. This one's not free, though, but it's not free for a good cause. Every download, they plant a tree, so some of it is going to a charity. So, but yeah, this is Sunlight. They have like in studio recording of the vocals and the singing, etc. Just a short experience.
Krillbite, they've done something I've played before. I think I recognize the studio.
Is it Mosaic?
Yeah.
No, they did Among the Sleep.
Yes, that's what it was.
And The Plan, they did that one too. So yeah. Sunlight. And yeah, Krillbite is a small studio based out of Oslo, Norway.
I do like they've got these lovely artwork, but they've also got these nice music and whispers going on in the background as well. It's haunting, beautiful music, and yeah, it's interesting concepts. I'm all for it.
Yep, all for it. And yeah, just something relaxing to enjoy. I love the artwork. This sort of, it's like oil painting. Yeah, just looks very much like it was hand drawn. But it's still 3D, so you can kind of walk through and stuff moves around you. That's very cool. Very, very cool. And yeah, it's mostly positive with 85%. And with that, we gotta know your best of the week of the games that came out or that we talked about this week. What shined most to you? And I guess Merlyn, do you have a process, or you need a bit more time?
I gotta think about it a little bit longer.
I could go. Right. So I'm going to pick one from the catch-up list.
Okay.
And one from this week. So I'm going to go for that. So there's Munro and Poe, which is Poe and Munro, I should say. There's that one, but that's been on my wishes for ages. But the one that when we were going through the list, I thought, I've definitely got to get this at some point. It would be the Umurangi generation. That one with you taking the photographs and stuff. That was a surprise one. Yeah, I really like the idea of that, of just taking pictures. I love it. And the one from this week, I wasn't sure at first, but when you said who the developer was and what they'd done previously, I got to check it out now. So down in Bermuda, if they've done it in the style of Agent A, I think this would be a really good game to play, because I just had so much fun with that game, and it's the story for Agent A was brilliant, and if they're done it the same way it's down in Bermuda, then yes, a lot of fun, a lot of humor, a lot of interesting puzzles, and some quirky like cutscenes as well. So we'll see.
Let me see. For me, I'm going to look in the catch-up first, of course. It's actually kind of hard in the catch-up because Umurangi looks great. Neversong looks great. Timelie looks great. But I think I have to narrow it down to Timelie from the backlog just because I feel like this is apparently a classic and I didn't play it and I'm really curious about it now. Considering so many people I know have this as their game of the year, and I was just like, I just kind of vaguely remember it coming out, and that's it. And so I am really curious, and it's from a Thai studio, and I don't get to play a lot of games from Thai studios. And from the games that came out this week, it's probably mostly because it matches up with genres I like to play. But it's probably gonna be Yaga. I love action RPGs. This one's got a nice style to it. I like that it's sort of based around Eastern European lore and legend, which is just my niche. I like Eastern European fantasy, so I'll have to check this one out. Yaga. All right, so, Merlyn.
For mine, going through the catch-up list, there were so many in the catch-up list that I really am interested in. So many, actually. Poe and Munro looks really, really good. Left on Red, I probably will play just because it's free, and I think that the platformer aspect of it is really, really interesting. Cannibal Cuisine, I gotta mention that one too, just because I am a huge Overcooked fan, so that'll be fun too. But yeah, I think I have to agree that Timelie is probably the one that stands out the most, based on the mechanics and just it's in my wheelhouse completely with the puzzles. It has a cat in it. I love it. I love games with the animals in them. That's just a quirk of mine. But like the time mechanic just really intrigues me. So of the catch-up list, I think that one stands out the most. This week, I think of all the games that we looked at this week, I would have to say Sunlight intrigues me the most, based on the fact of that I really enjoyed Among the Sleep. Like having seen how they did that, and how they told that story, I have a feeling that Sunlight probably has a really interesting, good story behind it that maybe we don't see right on the surface. I might grab that one up and see what that's all about, because yeah, they're really good storytellers from what I remember of Among the Sleeps.
It's encouraging when developers you like you see and it's like, oh, they got another game out.
They got another game, yeah.
We and the same. We both recognise like, oh, that dev's did that game. Oh, then I will definitely snap up this game. So yeah, it's like both of us have picked games like that.
Yeah.
And from the chat, Godless Weeb brought up that Umurangi was also on his wish list. Yeah, Umurangi Generation, just one of those photograph games, which you don't see a lot. Yeah,
no.
You don't see a lot of them.
Don't see a lot of photograph games. The one that stands out in my mind most is probably Fatal Frame.
Oh, Fatal Frame! I've completely forgotten about that one.
It's been so long since I played that game. That was that PlayStation 2 or PlayStation Original? It was very long.
There was also another game more recently that was sort of photography based, where all the characters are animals, but you're playing as like a crippled bear who's like he's like a retired detective, but he's like snapping pictures from his balcony, and there's like a mystery going on. A raccoon gets murdered. What is that game called? We talked about it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I remember that thing. That's on my wish list.
Yeah. I think it's on my wish list too, but my wish list is like 200 games long, and scrolling through that, I'm never gonna find it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, God, yeah. Now you got me thinking. Now I'm like, God, what was that game?
yeah. So that was like another one with the photography. I don't know, because I definitely know you zoom in and snap.
Oh no, it's for flower collectors, and
Collectors.
Part of it is you are taking some pictures, but you're mainly looking through your binoculars, your camera and your binoculars to find like clues or suspicious looking people.
It's not the same thing as Pokemon Snap or Umurangi, where it's all about getting the right angle and the right lighting and adjusting the bokeh and all that. So, yeah. Okay. With that was a show. That was a show. We had the best of the week. And so, Merlyn, let us know where the internet can find you and what you're up to and what's going on.
Sure. So yeah, the internet can find me at twitch.tv/MerlynTemple. I'm also on Twitter, but I don't tweet a whole lot. Same MerlynTemple is my handle pretty much everywhere. I haven't been streaming so much in 2020, but I'm working on getting back to streaming more frequently and on a schedule in 2021. So far, I've at least kept to Saturday Among Us streams. We do a regular weekly Among Us game. We have a lot of fun. We have a pretty good group that has a lot of good regulars. But we let anybody in who signs up. So as long as you fill out my little form and sign up, or just DM me, you can jump in and play as long as we have openings. I'm always looking for backup people as well in case we lose people. Oh, cool. We play with proximity chat, which is also a lot of fun, so that there's a requirement to set up proximity chat. And
man, that sounds so fun.
That's been my time lately. Although I am planning on getting back to more point and clicks and such, because that used to be my main focus. Haven't done any of those since October, and I'm planning on getting back to that soon. Probably either tonight or tomorrow. I'm not sure. Depending.
Well,
what happens with the kids.
A new year, a new month, a new week, a new morning. They're all like, it's all a new start. So it's a cool thing to jump in on. So, Rhodey, where can the internet find you? What are you doing? What are your plans?
So, I will hopefully be jumping back with a new game I've finished a few weeks ago, Murder by Numbers. Thinking probably playing a FMV game. You never know. But yeah, I will definitely post on my Discord. But in the meantime, if you want to catch up or read up on any of our games that we have reviewed, you can also sign up to the group Steam Power Store curator page, and you can click on it here, sign up, and you can read what we thought about each game, and also links to any of the reviews that we've done for the YouTube.
All right, and let me see. You can. I've not been streaming, so I just really haven't. It's just been this week. It's just been the weekly shows, and I've just it's been a new year, so I've been learning how to, what I want to accomplish. I'm going to be starting a garden soon, so I don't know, maybe garden vlogs. We'll see. It's all new life, but yeah. It's been awesome looking through each of these episodes, preparing for each of these episodes every week, and I look forward to the next episode, which it'll be episode 67, and there's just going to be, as always, more awesome games to talk about. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to actually when the games that we've said we're looking forward to coming out, when we actually get to talk about them when they've come out.
When they actually come out. Podcast. I get to play them. So, yeah. All right. With that, thank you, chat, for hanging out for us for the past 2 hours. We appreciate you. Thank you, JJ Miles, Sincerely Day, Godless Weeb, Case the Joint, and, of course, all the lurkers who have kept us company. So, with that, bye, Twitch, And by YouTube, by YouTube, and soon by Twitch. Yes.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.